What up? I don't know if I'm actually live. Give it a few minutes and see what happens here. What's up? Alaska Stock Talk in the house after so long. Let's see. All right. Give it a minute here. See if some people show up to the video. It's been a while, so I don't really expect anybody to, but we'll see what happens. All right, let's get into it. I don't think anyone's going to show up here on this unannounced live after not being on for months. Sorry, you guys, for not being on. A lot has happened since the last time I was on, and in the stock, in my personal life, at work, lots of stuff. I can't even remember where I last left off. Let's see. See what you guys can see right now. It's been a long time since I've done this, so let's do a quick disclaimer. What you're going to hear today is not financial advice. This is Alaska Stock Talk. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not a professional in any way. I'm just somebody who's been in the stock market for about 4 years now, and mainly have been in one stock, Ocugen. That's mostly what I talk about in these videos, and that's what I'm going to be talking about today. I'll start off the video going over where I've been, what I've been up to, and then we'll talk through the stock Ocugen and what I think is going to happen next. And I think what's going to happen next is going to be pretty big. That's why I'm on here tonight, because I think it's going to be pretty soon that we're going to hear something. And man, now that I'm already talking, this feels good to be back. It's been a long time, and this feels really good. And for some reason, I've just been hesitant to make a video. I've also been super busy, but it's a lot to do these videos, and it's summertime, and I'm still super busy with my classes. But here we are. I wanted to make sure I got in a video for you guys before I start getting real busy again. So yeah, not financial advice. When I going over the charts and stuff, always bear in mind there could be things that I'm not saying that are 100, or things that I'm saying that are not 100% correct, because I'm not a professional. So keep that in mind. This isn't financial advice, so don't take what I say and go buy or sell any stock. Okay. So just real quickly, for fun, I got this little four-wheeler, and man, am I glad that I did, because I've been wanting to get a motorcycle again for so long. My first 4 years up in Alaska, I was on a motorcycle through the rain and everything, and I loved every single minute of it. I call it smiles per hour, because it's just so much fun, and it makes me smile the whole time I'm riding. And this four-wheeler's been doing the same thing, and this is the This is way up the mountain on the island I'm on. Just super beautiful. It feels great to get back out on these roads exploring again. Here's kind of another little shot. Super fun cruising down, uh, watching all this stuff. Looking at there's because you run into all sorts of animals, you see all this beautiful mountains, birds. I mean, it's just amazing up there. Here's a little picture of my dog Lasku. He's the one in front. He met this little guy right across from my house. They put in this dog park, and it's just been amazing. This dog behind my dog, his name is Bane, and he's just a huge, awesome, uh, nice dog. Doesn't have a mean bone, so he's been great friends with my buddy. They've been a couple of peas in a pod, are usually out there when I go have my morning coffee and take them out there, and we'll run into Bane. So that's been pretty cool. I went out fishing a few days ago. So it was this really awesome spot that I found. And then I started fishing, and what do you know? Um, that's my ex and her boat. She decided to start trolling in front of me. She's got the whole ocean. She's got the boat and she's got the whole ocean. But she trolled back and forth in front of me that day. Although I don't think she knew it was me. It was just a weird, funny coincidence, but pretty annoying. All right, so I'm going to bring up a lot of time to prepare for this video, so I'm just going to go over and we'll kind of just walk through stuff, what's been going on, catch everybody up. If you're not on Twitter, you don't pay attention to Ocugen as much as me and other people that are on here all the time. This will be a quick little refresher. Let me just find a good spot here before I'll let you see what I'm looking at. Let's see, where's a good spot? The last thing that was probably on the video. Let's see. Let's go ahead and start here. So let me share screen. Man, it feels good to be back making videos. I know I said I wanted to make videos over the summer, and this class that I'm in has just been insane. And it's been really hard to do anything but this class. And that's why I haven't made any videos. I wonder how I can make this easier to see. Let's try that. It's a little better. But first, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. Where I've been, I think at the last video, I was just finishing up like an art class that was awesome in another class. And I was like, I'm super pumped for this summer. Be able to make lots of these videos all the time, and because I'm not working, and I'll be able to just make videos and try and make something of this YouTube happening. But unfortunately, it just hasn't worked out that way. I got 4 days off between those classes and my next class starting. I'm only doing one class, but it may as well be 2 or 3 classes because the amount of reading I have to do just takes up a lot of time. And we probably read about 80 to 100 books, children's books, but picture books and novel books. So some of them were fairly long, and we're doing 6-8 books a week, and we're writing annotations for each of these books and learning about children's literature, learning about literature and how to teach literature and structures of how a book is structured and all sorts of stuff. It was a really, really cool class, and really helped me become a better reader, to be honest. And so yeah, I've got like 2 more weeks left in this class. I just finished a huge 10-page paper that the professor called a short paper. This 10 to 12-page paper we had to do. Actually, I did 12 pages, and it took a long time, but it was really cool. It was a cool class. I think, one fairly large assignment to do where I have to set up like this poster board of like several different books that I recommend that I read over the semester and set it up somewhere in public, like at my public library here. That's like one of the last ones I have to do for that class, besides just reading, reading, reading. So that's kind of where I've been. Yeah, I've tried to get out fishing, but I've only been able to get out once, to be honest. Just trying to fish off the rocks there. I haven't had any time to go rent a boat or even think about it or anything like that. But I've been cruising around on the four-wheeler. They're legal to drive on the streets here in Alaska. Most places, besides like Anchorage and the really large places, you can ride a four-wheeler around as long as you get it registered and a license plate and stuff. So, I've been using it as a grocery getter and stuff. It's been saving me tons of gas money because everything's just insane right now. So it's been really cool. And like I said, it's miles per hour. I've been so busy with work and classes and stocks and stuff that I have given myself zero fun time. And just cruising around the four-wheeler has been pretty awesome. It's been some nice fun time for me. Even if I'm just going to get groceries with it, it's fun. Also, I've been real busy because I've been doing physical therapy. My knee has been really messed up, and my tailbone from the half marathon I did last year, and just injuries I've had along the way before that, since then. And finally went into physical therapy. I've been doing that for the last month, and that's another reason why I haven't been able to put any videos out. My knee was getting so much better, and then my insurance was cut off, and I'm not going to PT anymore, and now my knee is starting to hurt again, which really sucks. Which I don't think I've mentioned on the last video. But a lot of you that probably will watch this video that have watched my previous ones know that I'm a teacher here in Alaska. I just got my emergency teaching certificate this year. I've been working on my degree for 4 years. And I see somebody says, yo, in the chat, what's up, man? Glad you're here. Sorry it's been so long. But I kind of just lost my train of thought now, but that's all right. Yeah, I've been. Oh, I lost. Yes, long story with that. With the job, was super pumped to finally become a teacher, and was a teacher the whole year. And then the last 2 months of school got insane. My principal ended up getting a brain tumor, and it wasn't good. The building fell apart at the end of the year. Teachers were already on edge because a lot of people didn't like my principal, and mainly because he was losing it because of his brain tumor, but nobody knew. He tried to give me an evaluation like 3 times, and I'm like, I already got my evaluation, man. He's like, you did? And I'm like, yeah, like 3 times, dude. It wasn't good. He ended up finding out he had a brain tumor, and then he was gone the rest of the year. And it was really tough because the building was already kind of falling apart because they're after COVID and stuff. I feel like a lot of the teamwork building stuff, team based things, people lifting each other up, a lot of that was not going on. And that's why before I was talking about, like, I'm always bringing in like food, snacks, and treats and stuff. I know it's not much, but it's something to try and lift up spirits, because that was going on in our building. And then after people just being toxic and stuff, and then after our principal was gone, it got worse, because then we didn't have a leader. They brought in a principal. We were already getting a new principal, because our principal was gonna be switching with our new principal. Big scam. We were supposed to be getting a new principal. They ended up just switching places. I think I had kind of mentioned that in one of my last videos, at how who you know kind of gets what you get. And they gave all these different principals interviews and stuff, and then who did they end up picking was the person whose job my old principal was going to take at theirs, because they were a math teacher at this place. He was going to be the math teacher at that school. That math teacher from that school with zero admin experience was going to come be our new principal. But they didn't want to throw the new principal with no experience into the lion's den at the end of the year and make them deal with all this craziness at the end of the year, because I haven't even told you the real crazy part. They didn't want to throw that person in there yet, so they've just brought in this person who's been a principal for a long time, and they were the principal of the building where my new principal worked at and my old principal was going to. So they brought him in to finish out the rest of the year, because everyone was freaking out, because our governor vetoed this bill, and we lost a lot of funding for our school district here. And myself and many other teachers, 55 teachers, I think, were given pink slips. So I lost my job, and I was heartbroken for a long time. It was really hard, because I've been working for so long, and it was this amazing thing that I have finally accomplished, and then it was just stripped from me because of our governor. The Senate and the House had already passed a bill to increase the BSA, which, if you don't know, if you don't know much about schools and how all that's run, the BSA is the amount of money per student that the government gives for funding. And we had this increase, and with that increase, I would still have a teaching job. And that was passing. It did pass. And when it got to the governor's desk for him to sign off of it, he vetoed it, because they took off a portion of the bill that he wanted on there, which was to give teachers a $5,000, $10,000, or a $15,000 bonus for the next 3 years who worked in rural areas. So it would have been great for me. But and the reason he wanted to do that was for teacher retention. He wants to keep teachers in Alaska, because if you could imagine, I got an emergency teaching certificate for a reason, because it's hard to find teachers here in Alaska. It's hard to keep them here. So he's going for teacher retention. Here in my town, teachers would get $10,000 at the end of the year. So when they get their summer paycheck, we would have gotten an extra $10,000 for the next 3 years. But the House and the Senate struck that off the bill, so he vetoed. And now my school district had not budgeted well, and they had to lay off a bunch of teachers, and I was one of them. And I was they were telling teachers, like, hey, hang in there. We know this is really bad right now, but eventually, the government's going to come through. They're going to bring the funding back, and hopefully we'll be able to bring teachers back. But they already knew that they weren't going to be able to bring all teachers back. They pink slipped about 55, I think it was, and they said they'd probably only be able to bring back about 35. And so I knew I wasn't going to be one of them, unfortunately, because I was the very last teacher hired in the district this year. So I knew, I knew first, well, there were rumors that the pink slips were coming. I was like, just give me mine. I know I'm getting one. I was the last person hired, right? So I knew my pink slip was coming. I feel bad for some of the teachers who didn't know their pink slip was coming. I knew mine was, but there are some teachers that have been working for years who got pink slipped and they didn't know it was coming, and I felt terrible for them. I still do. But most teachers got their jobs back, besides me and a handful of other people. But fortunately, since I knew I was going to be pink slipped, I was already looking ahead. I ended up finding a job on a neighboring island. It's just another ferry away from here. So I secured a job like 2 days after getting my pink slip. I'm going to be a PE teacher, and I'm super pumped for that. PE teacher at elementary school. And it's going to be awesome. But having said that, I'm going to be moving soon. So the rest of my summer is going to be pretty filled. Probably won't be able to make very many other videos, although I want to try. Now that I'm doing this, it feels awesome to be back. So yeah, I know you guys want to hear about Ocugen, right? That's why we're here. So let me bring up the post again. Let me see. How can I turn this? There we go. So Huma, I think we had already talked about the first one they went to. The ADFO Summit, which is in UAE. They went to the first one, and on that one they became partners, and then we came back for Summit 2.0, and Huma went there and spoke at that one. And she just recently, I think this week or last week, finally uploaded a short video of her speaking there. We're still waiting to hear something or for something to come of this, right? What does being their partner mean? I don't know. At this point, I don't think it really means comes with funding, at least not directly from being partner with the ADFO, but I think it can bring funding, because I think becoming their partner is helping us to secure funding, right? Like that's why we became their partner, is to try and secure funding. That's the whole point of the Family Office Summit, is to help businesses secure funding. So hopefully soon we hear something come from this, right? 2 trips there. Hopefully somebody has decided to fund, partner, or something like that with us, right? Let's see. Just another thing talking about how that was coming up. This was a post I said, we know that the funding is coming for the Project Next Gen vaccines, right? Ocugen, you can go on the Ocugen website and look in their past posts and find where they said that NIAID has already as well partnered with Ocugen, and sometime mid 2024 they're going to start those trials. And if you don't know, these trials, let's see if I can zoom in here so you guys can see this a little bit. There we go. These trials are going to be completely funded, right? Funding from Project NextGen will cover the full cost of the clinical trials, including operations and related analysis. Ocugen will be responsible for providing clinical trial materials. Upon completion, will have full right of the reference to the findings. So this is OCU500 is our nasal vaccine. They're going to do a trial for inhalation and then mucosal. So like one that you breathe in and then like a nasal drop. And that's going to be completely funded and coming mid 2024. And they just announced 2 or 3 different companies getting their funding. Vaxart was one of them. They got $500 million. The NIAID has posted several times that they're looking for a pill or inhalation vaccine for COVID, and they're funding up to 500 million for that. So I suspect that Ocugen probably has 500 million coming at some point, hopefully soon, right? Mid 2024. We're in mid 2024, and just recently, in the last couple of weeks, they have started to announce some of those trials starting. So hopefully ours is starting really soon, right? That's kind of another reason why I haven't made a video yet, is because I'm kind of just shocked that nothing has happened yet, and I'm just waiting. All in my previous videos, all the upcoming near-term catalysts that I mentioned, they're just even more near term now, right? We're getting closer and closer, man. I'm getting excited. I'm trying not to get too excited, right? Because maybe it doesn't happen till the end of August, beginning of September. When we look at the flip chart, you can see that's when we do start heading back up. And that, that's still mid 2024. So it could be around then. So we can't get our hopes up too much, but we'll see. Hopefully soon, right? If you haven't been paying attention, if you didn't get an email or a call or text or whatever from Ocugen, we just did these votes, right? No, it's okay. We just voted for a lot of different stuff. It was to increase some shares, to give the CEOs and stuff a raise, and a few other things. You can go and look on. Come here. Come here. Why are you barking? Come here. You can check on their website too to see all the stuff we just voted for. There was we got a new lawyers. We voted for 100 million shares dilution, which is actually a good thing. We need that money because if you start looking into even just the NIH NIAID partnership, Ocugen needs money for part of those materials, and then they'll be reimbursed. If you start looking into the agreements and stuff on there, you'll find that. And that's part of the reason why Ocugen had to get these shares. And at some point, they will dilute. But I feel like that dilution is pretty much already priced in, right? When they first announced that, I think that's when we were at two something, right? And then we went all the way back down to 120 or even under 120 a little bit, I think 116 or something. That was basically the market pricing that in. And now if you're looking at the stock chart or the price now, we're almost back to $2. So the market's priced that in. And now, surprisingly, it really is surprising for me, Ocugen is now being evaluated at $1.80, right? We've been sitting at $1.80 for a little while now. And that's pretty amazing to me. And it's funny that I see people complaining and stuff like, oh, we've been here for so long. We've been in this channel, right? Going from 2 to 130, right? We did this big W, a big M shape, a big W shape, and now we're on the way back up. And I see people getting bored, and it's like, you guys, you don't understand. Ocugen, they still don't have anything making them money right now, and we could easily be at 30 cents, $1, right? We could easily still be down there because nothing is for certain yet. There's still speculation in the stock right now, although in my eyes, there's not. Me and others that have been in here for a while, I know who you are, you know who you are, and we know what's coming, but that's us, right? That's not everybody. People just coming in don't know that. They don't have our conviction. They don't know all the things that we know. But that's why I make these videos, to try and share, right? All the stuff and try and help people have conviction, because unfortunately, this weekend we just lost another OG from stock twits. Every once in a while, it seems like people will get really drunk and then decide to sell out, and they got sick of waiting years. But man, that's unfortunate if it's really true and these people have waited 3-4 years and now they sell out. I don't think they could have chosen the worst time because I think Ocugen is about to have another major run soon, right? As soon as we get this partnership deal that's supposed to be coming, or any of these other near term catalysts, the Ocu 410 results, those, I think that's the nearest catalyst that's going to be coming up, and that should be in the next month or two, because Shankar said about a month or two ago in one of those last videos. He was real giddy and he had a big smile on his face, and he said somebody's real excited to see these results, and he was talking about the Aki 410 ST, the Stargard, right? Because and the AMD, because there's no specifically for the Stargard, there's no not even cures, but there's nothing right now for those diseases to help them. And so I think that might be the holdup on the partnership deal, is I think they're waiting for some solid results to come in from Aki 410, and then especially when those preliminary results come from Aki 400, I think that's going to seal the deal. Honestly, that's the only thing that makes sense that would be holding a partnership up right now, would be them just wanting to know for sure that Ocugen's pipeline is going to come out, right? Their ocular stuff. They're waiting for Ocu 400 and they're waiting for Ocu 410. And soon the Ocu 410 phase 1-2 results is coming out. That's what he said. They're happy, right? Someone's happy. They want to see those results. So I think they want to see those. And then shortly in the next, before the end of the year, anyways, we're going to get data from the Ocu 400 phase 3. And maybe that's going to be the final deal. I'm hoping the data from 410 will seal the deal with whatever this partner is. Because maybe they're Ocugen saying, Ocugen may be asking for a big chunk up here, and the partner may be asking down here because they're like, hey, first of all, you didn't have the money. Now we do, right? Because of the shares we voted for. First, you don't have the money, Ocugen. You can't do this without us, right? So their bids down here, we'll give you $5 billion, but Ocugen's like, no, we want 15 billion or 10 billion or whatever, right? And they're both waiting. Ocugen partners are waiting, and they're like, okay, well, if you want that much, you're gonna have to wait and see if the data pans out, right? So maybe that's what they're waiting for, and the data's gonna pan out. I just have high hopes that the data's good, right? Because the data's already been good all the way so far. So really high hopes that it's just going to be good as well all the way through phase 3. So here, if you don't know, we joined the Russell 3000. And a lot of people talked a lot of crap about that, saying, oh, who cares, right? You were pulled out of the Russell before, and you guys were saying this and that. But we've only been going up since we've been included back into the Russell 3000. And it wasn't just the Russell 3000. And I think we'll probably get to a post eventually where I posted all of the ones that we were added to. It was a bunch of different Russell ones. So this has been very positive, right? Huge news for Ocugen that added back to the Russell, because there's billions of dollars that follow the Russell of all these other hedge funds and institutions that add and take off whatever the Russell is adding and taking off. Because each year there's like a reconciliation or whatever they call it, reconstruction of their of all their indexes, and we were at it, right? So that happens once a year on June 28th, and ever since then we've been going up. Let's see. So let's just talk about it again. This is talking about Huma. So ever since my last video, right? Um, Ocugen, or Shankar, Huma, Aaron, and a couple other people have been going all over. Man, they've been the A team, um, literally across the world, right? Trying to find funding partners, global partners, global CDMOs, where they're, we got to find partners there. Then we got to find places that can make the vaccines, right? We got to do that for each country, and they've been going all over, and I'm super proud of them. People are still saying, like, what does Shankar and them do? That's what they do. They're literally traveling across the country and talking and working their butts off trying to secure these things for Ocugen. I think they've already secured some, but Shankar didn't have the most successful vaccine launch of Prevnar 13 by just finding one partner and being okay with it, right? I'm sure he kept working and working and working, and that's what he's doing now. They're not going to be satisfied with one partner in one country. They're going to all these different things because they're looking for partners from all the countries, right? Global. Ocugen, Shankar has been saying global for a long time, and that's what they've been doing. I'm not sure what this was. That's unavailable now. These were some pictures from the summit. Huma Antoine, he is the guy who put together the business ADFO summit. So he's the main man, and you can see he's the one that invited Ocugen out there, right? Here they are. So they went out there. Let's see. You could pause this later if you're rewatching this. If you want to read this, he's just saying, thanks for having us out. It was great. Hopefully something comes with this, right? It's got to. Hopefully soon. So they enrolled cohort 3 as well as phase 2 to start Ocu 410 back in May 31st for AMD and GA. And this is, I believe, where they started doing like the high dose and stuff, right, to make for the safety element. They start with a small dose, medium dose, high dose. So that was them telling us that they started that high dose, right? That last part of phase 2 for that, and that's the data that we're waiting for. Just another cool picture of some people he was talking to there. Ocugen with some of the ADFO Summit family members, and I'm not quite sure who that guy is. This was a post that I found. I had previously mentioned the two blind brothers, Ocugen, Shankar, and Huma, were invited to the two blind brothers gala dance that was funded by Foundation Fighting Blindness, I think. And you could read this. This was what's going on. Basically, I said patient recruitment because back on this post, I said, I wonder why they invited him there. The answer is patient recruitment because the two blind brothers have vowed to never let another one of these rare disease clinical trials fail because of patient recruitment. So that's their whole main thing, especially for Stargardt disease, right? So that's why we have been talking to the two blind brothers because they help with patient recruitment for these real rare clinical trial disease things. This is another one of the conventions I went to. I posted this as an inverse head and shoulders pattern, but it actually broke down first before it went back up. Some new jobs that were posted. They're thanking him again. Nick Ayton has, if you watch, he makes a lot of videos and stuff on LinkedIn. If you watch his stuff, he's all about these people that he's partnering with. He's all about communication, right? He wants people in your face communicating. He wants people checking with him, especially people he's funding with. He's mentioned several times that he wants clear communication, and he's trying to, his whole business model is like very outspoken and social media in your face type stuff, very hype man, macho type guy. But hopefully something comes from that. So they're doing a good job keeping tabs with them, keeping them happy. Another convention there was another one. Some more pictures from the convention. There was, if you didn't see this, Dr. Huma was on a short clip on the news recently. So I had posted here, I had a buy order at the 0.5, right? So that was right here when we hit 143, because oftentimes it can bounce, right? When you hit a level like that, it can bounce. So I had a small order there. I was waiting for it. Instead of, purchasing every day, I let it come down to, I'll have a set price where I already have it on there, and then I don't even have to check it. As soon as it hits that price, it just buys the stock for me. So that's what I did there. But I said, I don't know if it's going to stop. It could keep going down to the golden pocket. So that's what I re-quoted here, was we could make another bounce off the golden pocket. Like on the previous runs, we made 2 bounces, right? Bounce off the golden pocket. We shot up. Bounce off the golden pocket. Shot up. Almost came back down for 1 bounce. And at that time, I was kind of taking that as the first bounce, but it really wasn't. We came back up, came down for the real bounce, the first bounce off the golden pocket, shot back up to 2. And then since then we did go back down to the golden pocket. And then since then again, we have shot back up, right? So we've been trading in this big channel for quite a while now. And that's why people are complaining when it's like, man, just shut up. Like, seriously, if you look at the year to date, we're up like 200 some percent. And I can't believe these people are still crying. It blows my mind. Just to stop checking every day if you're really going to be that upset. And if you are checking every day, you should be doing this kind of stuff where you're trading, or you're at least using these levels to make sure you're buying at the best time, right? I'm like brain dead right now. I'm so tired. I can't think of good vocabulary words right now, but I'm trying. But yeah, that's why I do these charts for myself, is so I know the best time to buy, and so I'm not just buying a falling knife, right? And if you don't know what that means you're like, ooh, we went down 10%. Yay, I'm going to buy some cheap stock right now. I'm going to buy some cheapies, right? And then the next day it goes down another 5% or another 10%. You're like, oh, which happens. It still happens to me, right? It's impossible to be perfect every time. And like I said, I bought some here. I had a little purchase order at 140, even though I thought we could keep going down. But just in case we bounce there, that's why I have my small purchase order in there. But I had a larger purchase order down at the golden pocket. And then when we hit that one, that's when I put in much more money, right? And now that we're back to 180, I'm already back to where I was at when we were at $2. And so that's awesome. So the next time we come back to $2, I'm going to have a lot more money than I did before. So that's the power of dollar cost averaging. And sometimes I have to even take myself back and say, well, some people don't even know what you're saying when you say dollar cost averaging. But you can look through my previous videos to figure out what that means. It basically just means when the stock, let's say you buy a stock at $5, and then the stock goes down to 250. If you buy more of that stock when it goes down to 250, your average price that you bought the stock at goes down, right? So let's say like you bought at 5 and then you buy some at 250 and it brings your average price down to 350. And then if it keeps going down a little more, you purchase more and then it brings your average price down to 2. And then if it keeps going down, you bring your average down. But this is where conviction comes in with your stock, right? You only want to do this with a stock that you know has something good coming, or uh, biotechs are not the best to do this in, right? Because it's very speculative. So all this stuff that I'm saying works best with blue chip stocks, right? Facebook, Amazon, all the stuff that's safe, right? But I have been dollar cost averaging with Ocugen for years now. And so far, it's done me good because at first, my average price was really high because I had first found Ocugen when it was at like $8. And that was the first time I bought it. And then I had kept buying when it was going up 12, 16. Well, I don't know if I bought it 16, but I think I bought it like 8 and 12. And then as it went down over the years, I kept buying until my average is almost at like $1 now, right? And now that's awesome because now I'm in the positive. If I didn't keep dollar cost averaging, all my shares would still be up at like $8 or $12, and I would be absolutely hating myself in this world still. And those are those people that you see posting bearish and just hating this company. Those are those people who did that. They they only buy when the price is shooting up because they get FOMO, just like they did the first time. They got FOMO seeing it going up, and they hate the stock so much now because they're stuck in it because they don't dollar cost average at the right time. Then now when they see it shooting up, they're like, "Oh, it's time to buy now," and they never get better at it. So that's where the charts come in. Wait for it to come down to the golden pocket or the 0.5 or wherever. Look for yourself. Find out for yourself how you want to look for reversals and good places to buy stock, right? I'm not trading this really, you guys. People ask me like if I'm selling when we get to the tops of the Bollinger Band and stuff, and when we get to $2, they're asking me if I'm selling. I'm normally not selling. I'm normally using these techniques that people use for trading for myself to just know when to buy at the most prime time, right? The most, uh, it's just the best time. That's what I use it for. I did sell like a couple $100 worth when we got to 210 last time. And looking back now, I would say, man, I wish I would have sold like a quarter of my position or half my position then, and then bought back when we went back to $1.16 or whatever. But that's the hard part about trading is you never know. If I would have done that, then guaranteed, if I would have sold half my position, guaranteed we probably would have just kept going up, and then I would have been hating myself even more. But but maybe not because right when you take profits, at least you're taking profits. It may still go up, but at least you took profits. If it went down, you'd be hating yourself even worse. And I know that has happened to people this time too. There were people, bearish people that got super happy when we were going up this last time to $2, and they're all cheering, going, "Yeah!" And then when it started crashing again, they all started freaking out again because they're not buying at the right time, and it's just so silly. Why sit there and complain and stuff and never try and help yourself get better, right? Silly. Don't take my word for it. Don't just follow my posts. Start learning the charts yourself, and that goes for all of you guys, right? Don't wait for my videos to come out. When you saw my videos not coming out anymore, that's when you should have been like, oh, now it's my time to really start learning these charts, because Hamilton's isn't doing it anymore. Or Alaska Stock Talk isn't around. But I have been, right. I've still been posting on Twitter and stock twits and stuff. If you've been following on me, or if you've been following me there, you've still been seeing my posts. And sorry, I'm real itchy. My knee injury turned into like a back injury, and I was using this like topical pain ointment on my knee, and it was fine. And it was helping. And then so when my back started hurting, I put some of that on my back, and I ended up getting this like crazy irritant rash from topical ointment. I was like allergic to it, and it kind of like spread around my torso, and it really sucks. I've been dealing with that for the last week and a half, and I really wish it'd go away. But now at least I know I can't use that stuff anymore. Okay, let's keep going. 3 years ago, I took over the gene therapy program at Ocugen. From the novel modifier gene therapy platform to dosing the first patient in phase 1-2 to initiating phase 3 and dosing the first subject marks a historic milestone for Ocugen. Congratulations to my team, who have worked hard day and night to make this possible. So this is huge, right? This is Ocu 400 going into phase 3. This is the first one of its kind. This is huge for Ocugen, right? It's just part of the title for the video. This is the first of its kind, and if the results come out good, it's over. Ocugen is gonna skyrocket, right? Or the partnership acquisition is gonna come through, and it's still gonna skyrocket. Ocugen has good things coming very soon. I can't believe none of these things have come out yet, right? That the NIH clinical nasal trials, all the different near-term stuff, partnership. I can't believe it hasn't come out yet, and we're just closer and closer, and it's coming soon, right? And that's why I'm pumped, because we're just closer and closer. I mean, it's huge. What a historic milestone. I don't think a lot of us that aren't we aren't scientists and stuff. I don't think we quite understand how huge it is for something to make it into phase 3. It doesn't happen often. And we have the orphan designation and a couple other things, right? It's all escaping my mind right now. I really haven't been focusing on Ocugen all that much lately, to be honest, because I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting for what we all know is coming to happen, and I can't believe it hasn't happened yet. Okay, so we got the Ocu 400, 410, the Ocu 400. Both of them are going, recruiting. This was a little triangle here I saw that we saw on the monthly. Let me just go ahead and pull this up right now. Oh, sorry, N4MU. Those people are stupid. They don't know what they're talking about. There's $5 billion that can be allocated. They've only announced a few of those. Vaxart's one of them. They got 500 million, right? They're still posting right now that they're looking for more companies to get $500 million for this program. So the money's still there. The money has not been all allocated. Whoever thinks that says that is a moron. We partnerships and it's going, so that's 0 cents. Um, $2 this week. Let's go. I think you might be right, Joseph. It's very possible that we get to $2 this week. Let's take a look. So I think that's the same thing. Let's go to Monday. Actually, that's what that was. Looks like I changed it a little bit, but it's the same thing. You could see here, I think I just flattened it out so it was a descending triangle instead of this pennant. But yeah, you could see I drew this because it was clearly there was a pennant there. That was down when we were at 131, looking for a breakout. Yeah, boom. Here it was, way down here. That was when it was at 131, right? When I put this here, but I did move it. It was just like this. I don't know why I changed it. But that's how it was. And then boom, we shot out of it. That's why you draw those things. Make it happen. Okay, let's go back to the daily. God, this monthly chart is looking pretty dang sweet. I mean, look, it's just, if you look at the monthly and you're not looking at the wicks, we're just kind of making this gradual climb. And let's go ahead and hide all this shit. Oops, not all of it. We want this back on. I'm just going to get rid of this now. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, the flipped chart, right? Which is the gray, the light gray here in the background is the flipped chart, which if you don't know what I'm talking about, the flipped chart, it literally means that I cloned this chart, right? You can do it. You do bars pattern, and then you click here, and then you go to where however far you want to go. Let's say I want to flip it or mirror it from where we're at today. And then it made it here, right? So it cloned this. And then you go to settings. And you can either mirror it or flip it. And that's what I had originally done with this other one. And you can see that that's what we've been doing. I literally did this flip chart when we were like way back here. At the end of last year is when I put this flip chart on here. And we have basically just been following it ever since. Make these hollow so we can see. Okay, you can see how closely we've been following this thing, and that's just crazy. We're literally right on this one right now. We're literally right where we should be according to the flip chart today. Like, that's crazy. So that's why if you've seen one of my latest posts, that I was saying that end of August, September is when we might be seeing a bigger push up. So maybe that's when we see, maybe August, September is when we finally see the NIH trials coming through, or maybe partnership news or something that gets us this push up, right? And then eventually towards the end of the year, that's when it has us pushing way up, right? Towards the end of the year. Because that's 2026 is when we're supposed to be getting the BLA for Ocu 400, and who knows what else is going on by then. So this flip chart just all makes sense, right? Here's like the NIH and partnership news that eventually gets us up a little bit above $3. Hopefully it gets us, I'm hoping around $5 from that stuff at least. And then maybe we see another kind of drop back down a little bit until we get closer to 2026. And this spike right here in the middle of 2025 makes sense because that might be when we get like some initial OCU400 phase 3 data or some initial um, NIH nasal data and stuff like that, right? That can shoot us up here. So a lot of this flip chart stuff kind of makes sense to me. And a long time ago is when I did this. I called it the Ocugen double bottom prediction, right? We hit a bottom, we shot up, we did a bottom, and my prediction um, is that we would shoot up again. That would be pretty nuts, right? To go back up to 18, but who knows? It'll take kind of all those things happening for us for something like that, I think, to happen, and that would be crazy. It's possible, but I'm not really planning on it. I'm kind of thinking when we get some of these first initial news, it will probably would push us maybe to like 5, 6, maybe 8 when we get like the NIH and partnership news could throw us up there. But who knows, right? That's just a totally random guess. It could shoot us way up to 18 or 20. Nobody knows. It just depends on what's going on at the time when that news comes out, how the market overall is doing at that time. Hopefully, nothing crazy is going on in the world at that time, right? It all really depends. And the last time we shot up due to these crazy prices was when all the GME and GME, AMC stuff, stock stuff was going on, right? So hopefully crypto starts shooting up and people start getting real bullish, right? Like we want the stock market to be super bullish, and we want crypto to be super bullish when we get news, and that will really help propel our bullish news, right? It all helps. um, okay, let's keep going. This has probably been super long already. I don't even know how long. um, let's see, about an hour. Okay, let's keep going. One person watching. It's all right. Didn't expect very many people to be on. It's really late actually, probably for a lot of you guys. So sorry to sneak this video up on you guys. So more things they're going to. Let's go ahead. Oh, okay, yeah, this one's pretty important actually. So this was the first patient dosed with OCU400. So huge news for Ocugen. She's doing great. She's saying one of her other posts, she was saying that, success, right? 2-week post update success. Things are looking good. Um, so you guys could kind of pause and read these if you want. Save some time. I'm not going to go over them myself. She did actually end up deleting these posts from Twitter because she started getting a lot of action that she wasn't expecting from Ocugen people. And maybe somebody tried to message her to ask about the trial. That's my guess is what happened, because she did actually private or like block or delete her Twitter for like an hour or so, but then she put it back up and all the stuff about Ocugen was gone. So somebody probably messaged her is my guess, which is not cool. Or she just didn't like getting all the attention. So yeah, Bollinger Bands, I was saying, are real easy. We hit the bottom and then we shot up. We are at the top now, right? Which can indicate that we're going to go back down. But as you can see here, um, we rode the Bollinger Band up for quite a while, and we're just now getting to the top. So the Bollinger Band could start this curve up, right? And we could keep bullish for a while now. And start riding that up. So let me go back. Let's take a look at that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the end. Is because we're about to have this 13 and 50 MA cross, which is a bullish cross, right? It's good. It happened in the past. Run. We had been using the 50 kind of as support, right? Once wave the 13 crossed the 50 and did hit it in bearish time here. We crossed down below, and then finally the 5 came back up and crossed the 13, and now the 13 is about to cross the 50, right? Or tomorrow, maybe it'll hit it as resistance, right? So if we start Monday, if the price starts coming down, then maybe it hits that as resistance. But that's what we don't want to see, right? We want to see it flip it and then come up, and then when it comes down again, because stocks can't go up forever, we want to see it use it as support again, like it. And I think it's amazing right now that we're at 188. I can't believe people are complaining about being at basically 190 right now with still nothing for sure for Ocugen. Right? Anything could happen, and the phase 3 trial could not work out. Maybe all of a sudden they're not going to do the NIAID nasal trial. I don't know why they wouldn't, but like these people are saying, oh, the money's already all been allocated. Maybe that doesn't work out, right? You never know with biotechs, and that's why you have to be careful. And I know in some of my previous videos I had mentioned that's why you need to have this a plan to sell when it's going up, because for me it's a lot easier to buy um, when it's going down than it is for me to sell when it's going up, because I start feeling the greed, right? Like, well, what if it does keep going up? And if stupidly you think that every time, but you can't. So that's why you have to ahead of time, before we do shoot up to $5, $10, $20, whatever, ahead of time, you have to have your plan and say, when we hit this price here that I see on the chart, or this level from previous time I see it was a support or resistance, I'm going to use that level where I say I'm going to sell a quarter of my position, or whatever, 10%, 15%, 25% of my position. When it gets to this level, I'm going to sell 50% of my position. When it gets way up here to 15, 20, that's when I might sell all of it, believe maybe 1,000 shares or whatever, in case it goes to $100 or whatever, like all these people are saying. That's not happening either. All those people, the people that are throwing those numbers out, it's a pipe dream. We're not getting to $100, at least not anytime soon. Maybe 2030 or something like that. Maybe 2040. We could get close to there, but that would probably be with splits and stuff like that. I just don't think it's possible, right? Like, look at Pfizer and stuff. And I don't know what they're at now, but before, they're only like $20, $30 or whatever, and that's a huge big pharma company. So you can't take those pumpers' words for it that are telling you right now we're going to $25, $50, $40 for sure. That's not for sure. That's not for sure. I'm telling you right now, 100%. That's not for sure. And they're just throwing those numbers out there. Are they making videos saying, "Hey, I'm not a professional"? They're not. They're acting like they're professionals with these crazy evaluations. Like, dude, your evaluations are stupid. Honestly, when you look at those evaluations that some of those people are doing, you can tell they're not professionals and they're stupid. And I can't believe so many people are falling for it. It's not happening, you guys. You need to be. You need to keep in check a reality check, and you can't just see that somebody's writes out some crazy evaluation where you're like, how did you even write this evaluation out? It just doesn't make sense, and you can't just take their word for it, right? And they're not telling you the full picture. Anyways, um, that let's see, what else can we look at real quick? That was the MA. Let's Bollinger Bands. Like I said, we're seeing the Bollinger Band just now curve up, so hopefully we can keep riding it up. Further, I want to see us get up past 210 now. I want to see us get around up to 230, 250, right? Let's look at some of the previous support and resistance, right? So we see all this stuff back here, all this previous support and resistance. So it's very possible that we could be trading up here in this area. There's lots of support and resistance from the past over here where we could easily be trading in that area. And right now it's pretty amazing that we are heading that direction. Obviously, the market is bullish on Ocugen right now since we've been included in the Russell, and hopefully that keeps up, right? Hopefully, what, 1, 2, 3, hopefully fourth time's a charm this time, going up to $2 that will break past it. Let's take a look at the RSI on the daily right now. We're at 50 there. Well, that's the average or whatever. We're at 66 right now. So, we're fairly high on the RSI. You could see we in our last big spikes we got up here to the 80s and stuff. But when we've just been kind of casually floating around the last couple of months, we've only been getting up to about right where we're at, actually. So it's kind of hard to say at this point. Tomorrow we could go either way. Our RSI is kind of at some previous tops, right? So that's kind of telling me, hey, we could go down tomorrow a little bit. And also the Bollinger Bands, right? We're also at the top of the Bollinger Band. So those are two indicators right there that are telling me we could see a small pullback. But that's just two indicators, right? It's still possible that we keep on this bullish trajectory because that's just what we've been. You can see we haven't had one red day since then. That's crazy. Or at least on here, we've had a red day where we've gone down, but as far as like these indicators on here, we haven't had red since then, which is awesome, which just means the strength is there, right? If they're filled in with green, that means the strength was there for buying and not selling. So that's awesome. We've been going up. Hopefully we'll keep going up. Maybe tomorrow we have a small pushback, right? Like maybe the RSI comes down and resets to some of these here that it bounced off last time. High 50s, low 60s, right? And then we do keep going back up. That's possible too. So probably should end it there. It's getting pretty long. Man, it feels good to be back on here talking to you guys. I really did miss putting out these videos. They're fun, they're easy. It just flows right out of me. Feels great. I was kind of hoping to see someone else fill my spot too, though, and make some videos. I don't know. A lot of people like to talk crap and stuff. Let's see some videos. And that's another thing that sucks too, is that made me not want to make videos, is people even started talking crap about the buy me a coffee thing that I've got down in the description. It's like, man, I take all the time out of my busy life to teach you guys about the charts and make these videos, and then people were calling me a scammer for asking to simply buy a coffee if you want to donate $5, and a couple, 2 or 3 people did that, and I was super appreciative. And now I do feel bad that I haven't made videos since then. So hopefully, hopefully I'll be able to make some more videos now that I've gotten back into it, and hopefully I can get back into the flow and keep it up. So it's good to see you guys. Glad I could make the video. Alaska Stock Talk is almost out. See ya.